Come on,
You're
Shane.
first.
Come on, Shane. Fight for yourself.
I can't argue with that, man.
Have a little respect for yourself.
Have some dignity.
Don't let them call you Yaddle.
Don't.
I mean, but hey, I guess if you get to be with Yoda, right?
I don't really want to be with Yoda.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I do too.
Can it, Solo?
Somebody's felt something bad with that.
Is Justin here?
Nope.
Who are you?
I've been consistent the last 3, so.
Wow, 3. Proud of you.
Oh.
It's on a roll.
On a roll.
Call him butter.
I can't wait till you go outside and your
Hey, did
tires
I-
have holes in them, Shane?
Did I mention that Google's thought I was Ewan McGregor?
Did you see me miss that?
Oh, sorry.
What?
No, this is the first time you mentioned this.
I don't. Yeah, I've never heard that. I've never heard
easy,
that in my entire life.
Casper. Easy, Casper.
Casper.
What's going on, guys?
What up?
Nobody? Nobody's going on. Apparently.
What's up?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
excited.
So what's going on,
Joey is-
guys?
Joey is-
Everybody watching right now.
Joda's very
I
excited.
was waiting on them. I was waiting on them to respond. The audience. All 2 of them.
All 2 of you. I appreciate you.
That's right.
Hey, what's up? We are the Marauders, and we talk all things Star Wars, even if there's not anything to talk about. We'll find something.
We'll make
So,
it up.
real quick, everybody
But there's a
introduce
lot
yourselves.
to talk about.
There is a ton this week to talk about.
I'm
in the wrong corner. That one.
Which one? Me? Hey, I'm Joda here, but really it's Joey Wall. But Joda on this podcast because all we do is Star Wars.
Jodeci? Is that who you said? Is that Jodeci?
You know, Ace knows about Jodeci. He might sing a couple bars.
I'm Emperor Padme Sucks.
Best name.
What? So just tell us, for people that don't understand, why are you Padme Sucks?
Because she secretly is in love with Padme, doesn't want to admit it.
Character and the whole.
She's just talk, guys. You
Right.
know when we mention overcompensating, that is Bonnie.
Only
Overcompensating.
thing she was good for.
Clearly, she loves Padme and just
Flame.
can't. She just can't get
That's
over
it.
it. And she's like, so no, I can't let people know my secret. So she overcompensates.
Is that the best movie quote behind you there, Padme Sucks?
Let me tell you, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. Said the worst character.
All I hear is overcompensating. Try harder. Try harder. I almost believe you.
Okay,
You
go.
love her.
I almost believe you.
What's going on, y'all? This is Lord Kendar.
Oh, careful! You'll cut your hair off.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
GameStop.
it's always
That's how he
day.
shaves.
it's
GameStop.
always the dark side of the force over here.
Any day you want to ship me my lightsaber?
No, I'm here for you.
Any day.
All things Star Wars.
Don't do it.
It's Justin Kenobi. Some say that I may have vanished into a world unknown, but here I am. I just show up at random times, waiting for my Star Wars side story. So here
I
we
still
are.
thought you were gonna say some people call me Space Cowboy.
Some people call me Space Cowboy. Others call
Gangster?
me Sabine calls me the Gangster of Love.
Which doesn't. I'm Yaddle. That's all I got. Yaddle.
I thought what?
Trying to
I
take
think
his buttons away.
I thought you had I thought you were the champ. What do you got back there, champ?
Nope,
Behind
Seattle.
you?
Oh, that
Is
right
that
there.
Is that a belt?
That's a championship belt.
Come on, please take
You do.
it. Much.
That is
do.
the championship belt.
Yep. You know what?
Nobody else has it.
I'd
Yeah.
asked Justin to show me his, but his screen's frozen, so he can't.
And I
Bonnie-
because- it's
Jared
because,
the Great.
I'd have Bonnie show me hers, but she's overcompensating about Padme, so she probably
That's right.
So
She got her Padme question.
Natalie Portman is my hero.
Lord Kendar over there is taking all the bandwidth up by hitting his buttons all the time.
you're not wrong.
Okay, real quick. Our sponsor,
Hey, wait,
Sonic.
who are you? Did you say
No.
who you are? I didn't.
I already
hear
said
you.
who I was. You just
I didn't
weren't paying
hear
attention.
I didn't hear. I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay. Nobody
Any
does
of them.
anyways.
Especially Bonnie's. I tuned her out.
Thank you, Sonic, for sponsoring us. Keeping it lit.
Love
Y'all.
the Sonic.
I don't know
That's
what I was
not a
gonna say
Sonic
with that.
bottle. That's just a bottle of water.
How many times a week do you use the app?
If I hold it like this, it looks like a Sonic bottle.
What was that?
Oh, what was
It's a
that?
Sonic water bottle.
Yeah. Shane.
Yeah, but
It's like
Ah,
whenever,
it's-
it's like
it's
whenever
Yaddle.
people go.
I don't know
People
this
go-
Shane. It's Yaddle.
When people go bass fishing and they hold up a big bass, but then they use the bait that they are sponsored by. That's what I was trying to do. It may not be the bottle, but it's not the sponsor either. There you go.
anyways,
Hey,
thank
now.
you, Sonic,
Showbiz.
for hanging out with us, keeping us on here.
Use their app. It's awesome.
Yes, use the app. I always use the app.
Yes.
I do too. Every
Half price
time,
drinks
every day.
all the stinking time. Okay, so
yeah.
let's get right into this so we can knock some of this out of the park. So our first thing we are going to talk about is the. Anyways,
I hate
we are
you.
gonna watch. We are going to watch the trailer. Here we go.
Oh, are we allowed to? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm showing it off a Star Wars page.
This is our second DMCA.
That's okay. It wouldn't be the first time.
Well, that's what she said.
Yo, why is the back of that so jacked up?
Like a what?
Because it was open. Do you not see it was open?
Yeah,
Let's face it.
I'm wondering why.
It's not music,
I
man.
love the music.
Oh,
Only the one who
called a
safely dreamed
didgeridoo.
such destruction.
Oh, they're in Australia.
You must reunite it with
That's
its
what-
own
yeah,
kind.
Lots of sand.
This you
Hey,
must
did y'all
determine.
notice him saying where?
he did.
The songs of eons past
Oh,
tell
he's
of
so
battles
cute.
between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called
How much
Jedi.
he's
It's not that girl's back. It's got like a little water tank.
You expect me to search
The
the
wrestler.
galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hey, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. Go get your Bubba. Where's your Bubba?
You know this is no place for a child.
You hear that, Joey? Is no place for a child.
I was trying to kick her out.
So I've heard.
Oh, I love this part.
That's my favorite part.
Oh, got him right in
This is
the
the
nipple.
way.
They better make a shirt that says "Wherever I go, he goes."
Yeah,
Just saying.
that would be a good one.
Make your own.
I don't know if anybody's ever been shot in the nipple before, but I'm sure
love-
it hurts.
So I love when
It
these
looked like it hurt.
I love when these trailers come out and people like, I mean, obviously we're going to speculate here, but everybody speculates every little scene. And I love that we see snow and automatically everybody says, "Oh, it's Elam or whatever where the Jedis go to get the crystals." And it's like, how many, or Hoth. It's like those are the only two snow places we've seen. Well, that's not Starkiller Base too, right? But I'm just like, there's so many planets out there. It's probably one we've never even heard of before. But anyways, let's speculate. What do you think it is?
Who wants to go first? Keep talking. Go for it. There's lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So first of all, I know, with them using the audio from the end of from season 1, a lot of people were kind of thrown off because when Sasha Banks appears on the screen, they're talking about wizards and Jedi and stuff like that. So everybody's like, "Oh, maybe she's a Jedi." I still think that the casting for her was Sabine. I saw some pictures of the old Rebels where it showed old Ahsoka and Sabine again, and I definitely think that that's Sabine. So
Can we
that,
get a picture of that? Just because I've never seen it.
yeah,
You're talking about the cloak lady? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah,
Isn't that the wrestler chick?
yes,
Yeah, no, that's what he's saying.
Okay,
He was
sorry.
talking
Oh,
about.
sorry.
Yeah.
And so the thing is the other thing too, which I thought was really dope, was the sound of the dark saber is ignited when she's on the screen. So I thought that was dope because that's a real throwback to her having it at one point. And we had rumors that Katie Sackhoff is supposed to be in the show. She's supposed to be playing Bo-Katan. So it would be awesome to know how Moff Gideon gets the dark saber. So I'm very excited that we're gonna have this connective tissue.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, she also did the voice too, but she is Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. For people that don't know,
did you know that was the sound of the dark saber, or were you told that by somebody that you watch?
It was confirmed by New Rock Stars, but what I'm saying is I was definitely listening for all of that stuff because of watching numerous videos from them. I know how they break things down, so it was nice to get that confirmed. Because that was one of my when we were talking about it, and I said I think it was definitely a throw off because a lot of people thought she might be a Jedi. And I was like, well, her tie-in to the Jedi, because they were talking about the history of the Jedi. So her tie-in of having the dark saber at one point, it just makes sense as to why she would possibly be a part of the show.
Or if she leads him to Ahsoka. If she's the contact that hooks him up with Ahsoka, that would make sense too. So that would be my guess.
Now, I haven't watched Rebels, but from what I understand...
Come on, Bonnie!
Yeah, I know.
Do it!
I know.
Do it.
You guys said that Sabine had the dark saber last?
She didn't have it last. She had it at a point.
Okay, who had it last?
Bo-Katan.
Yes, Sabine gave it to Bo-Katan. She let her lead the people.
And so that means you guys are trying to figure out how Moff Gideon got it?
Moff Gideon got
Well, the
it.
the Empire takes over Mandalore, doesn't it, during the Empire's reign? Isn't that canon?
Yeah, well, that's what happens through Rebels.
So,
though, I thought.
Right, but yeah, I guess that's true. So we don't know what happens between the end of Rebels and when Moff Gideon gets it.
No, that's kind of like what's been up. That's where this kind of fills in that gap.
So that's like teasing that might be what we get to see.
So we don't know who has it after Bo-Katan and how Moff Gideon got it. So that's kind of what should be filled in, or we should get some more information about it. Unless they do like a long tease on what exactly happened.
We know that Rebels is after The Last Jedi, correct? Supposedly.
No.
Rebels isn't?
No. Rebels is after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's what I said was
Oh,
Return
you
of the
said the
Jedi.
last-
Yeah, that's what he said.
No, that's not. He said The Last Jedi. I know because
I thought he said. I
ear-
thought he said Return of the Jedi.
He says that.
So
I
did
heard
you
Return of
see?
the Jedi.
So, yeah, some of the things people are talking about too is like, so during the ice scene where it's coming down to the ice and you see him bent over, behind him it looks like Boba Fett's like part of his. We don't know if it is, but people are speculating that it's Boba Fett's ship on it. And then also, if you notice too, we saw a Tusken Raider too, which we assume they're only in
Tatooine,
but I guess we don't really know. But I think it's a pretty safe bet that's probably Tatooine. Maybe we're going to see some Tatooine. So,
Well, see,
and I think it's a safe bet when you're dealing with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. They're really good at drawing on the known to help people out, but also creating new stuff.
Yeah. So we were talking about trailers last week. Before we get on this, so Ace, did we ever figure out about trailers? That's not a thing, right? Did you ever find one that doesn't do trailers?
I found a bunch of ones that showed trailers after the fact, or like Netflix that has Netflix specific trailers that necessarily didn't show in any advertisements on TV and stuff like that. Because I still know people that still don't know about the Old Guard, Extraction. They still, I did see advertisements for Project Power, but like for Old Guard or Extraction.
Old Guard has a trailer.
No.
Oh, sorry. I didn't. Okay, sorry. Explain to me again. I'm slow.
There are trailers available. But what I'm saying is sometimes like for Netflix, they have like when you go to Netflix, they have Netflix specific trailers, like when you are hovering over one and then they'll show a trailer. But what I'm saying is released to the public. So if you have Netflix, then you would see the trailer. That's what I.
So it's not on YouTube.
It's on YouTube now under the Netflix What I'm saying is like if you're watching regular TV and the trailer was to come out in that manner, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, because like, was it Endgame or Infinity Wars that dropped it just on YouTube? Do you remember that? I remember that. Crap.
I know what you're talking about.
But
I don't know.
All I'm saying,
a lot of people just drop on YouTube.
But I'm gonna be honest. I still agree. I still agree with what I said last week that I didn't need this.
Of course you do.
I don't know that this.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know that this trailer necessarily just got them like 10,000 subscriptions or anything because of this trailer. I don't know that anybody who was already looking forward to this to the Mandalorian was like, oh no, I'm not going to watch it now because the trailer sucked. So I just don't think that this trailer necessarily had a purpose. Am I glad that we got it? Absolutely. Was I happy that it just dropped on a random Tuesday? Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same token, did we need it? No, it didn't do it. Like it didn't get me that much more excited because we got the trailer. Like I'm still just as excited as I was to see the Mandalorian if I hadn't seen this trailer.
I'll make a rebuttal to that.
And honestly, if we didn't have to report on it, I probably would have skipped over it.
What?
Bull crap, dude. Bull crap.
What a freaking joke.
Okay, are you done?
I agree
I
with
will
you.
tell you.
I agree with you on the fact that I'm not more excited after seeing the trailer, but I'm happy that I saw it. Because I was already super excited.
Well,
like,
get out of here, Shane. Go over to a mod side.
Whatever.
Go kiss the mod.
For you to say that it didn't
Here you go.
matter,
Thanks, Jared. Just give him smooches.
It means it didn't matter to you. But I will guarantee you, I can guarantee you, tell you that it does matter to the casual viewer. It does get the hype back up because it puts it back in front of their face.
Haven't heard anybody that was just like a casual viewer that was like, "Oh, man."
I absolutely.
My Twitter was pretty excited.
There's an entire hospital of people that I work with that the day it came out, I started showing them.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
All of the people that's in your hospital never seen Mandalorian before?
They did see. That's why they were hyped again about it.
So then they weren't.
No.
They weren't.
That's not what you're. That's not what you were saying.
Exactly what I said.
No, you
That's
said
exactly what I said.
Okay, go on, because it's like on the brick wall. It doesn't.
And I also said for me. That's what for me means. That's what for me.
I know, but okay.
That's what I said.
Here, real quick. I want to show you this before we get any further. Let's those 7 million views
doesn't matter to them. Doesn't matter to them because they don't matter. It's only that matters to Ace. He's
and
only talking about himself.
7 million views,
and that's views on YouTube.
Yeah,
there was other ways people watched it.
just
Yeah,
YouTube.
you can watch it on Disney Plus too.
What exactly did that prove?
It's marketing. It's marketing. That was the whole point last week we were talking about.
Jared,
if they had just dropped the
Jared, show me how many subscriptions they just jumped because of those 7 million.
They don't release numbers like that, so that's not a logical. That's not a logical result.
You can't say that proves your point because that is not a measurable.
I said exactly what I said when we
Can I say
talked
something?
about it.
Yes, go ahead.
So I will say this: since it dropped, I have talked more about the Mandalorian.
Thank you.
Outside of this, me
Absolutely.
and Philip talked about it. I talked about it at CrossFit. I talked about it with my daughter, because we're all excited because we watched the trailer. Not saying I wasn't excited before, but I love trailers. I like getting that kind of stuff.
Which it's called marketing. That's what you do. You market.
I think it served the purpose it was meant to. Clearly, I was already extremely excited for this season. Obviously, anytime I get to see Baby Yoda, I'm more excited.
It's fine. Just kiss Mod. It's fine.
That's what happens, Shane. When you have an opinion, they don't want to let you talk. You see how that feels?
Everything that comes out of my mouth is opinions.
He just hit you with some words, Shane, and he was.
No, I mean, legitimately,
you just rolled it off.
Legitimately, I was super excited for it. I thought it was neat, but it didn't. I'm not more excited for the Mandalorian now that I've seen it. I'm just going to be honest. I was already super excited for season 2. I think the trailer was good. I mean, my favorite part was when Baby Yoda went in his little shell. Like, come on, that's so cool. But like, I mean, I was already level 10 for this. So like, there's nowhere else for me to go. Like, I'm ready. Like, bring it. I'm ready for October 30th. I can't wait for the first episode. Like, the trailer was good. I like that they used the armor's like voiceover through the whole beginning. I loved it. So,
what I did
good.
like about the trailer though is it did show that season 2 is a bigger spectacle. Like I think in season 1 it was very shrunk down into like the scenery, like most of it was shot in one location, that type deal, or whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is it looks like that we're going to multiple planets, we're going to multiple locations. It looks like they basically shot a movie and just cut it into 8 different parts. And I think for that aspect, that is exciting. But
so I just want to go back to the trailer thing one more time. What was said is Mod said he didn't need a trailer. That's what he said. He didn't need a trailer. And he might not have needed a trailer. But my point was it's a win. Like if you have a trailer, it adds. It does not subtract at all. But it's going to add. It is going to, and it did. 7 million views shows it definitely added something. And to not have a trailer, my point was it is a missed opportunity. And I am right in what I was saying. You can decide if Ace is wrong, but I was right.
It's a fact.
Let's
Is that
just
what
say-
you're saying? It's a fact.
and for what I said was those 7 million people, I guarantee, were all people who were already Star Wars.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way.
Even if just 1% of the 6 million people got a subscription based solely on that, it's still an astronomically low margin.
Get the information.
Disney doesn't release it, so that's a
I'm not trying to make the point.
No.
I ain't trying to make the point either. You
are.
I'm not making. I made
There
it.
you go.
I said my point.
There you go.
I'm not making it.
All right.
So you're saying,
All right.
so you're saying you strictly go off facts, and if someone presents you with all the facts, you'll go with it. Okay,
right.
perfect. Just in life. That's good to know.
That's
I
right.
have another thing to say about the trailer too.
What's up, Bonnie?
I did think
for
that it looked what is it called? The cinematography looked a little darker than we've seen. I think. I don't know.
I hope so.
Maybe that was just me, but so
No,
I was a little more excited about that because I like kind of going down those dark areas and this kind
Well, I
of
think
stuff.
that's why you bring in the different directors, and I think because of the fact we're not going to have just the same directors from season 1, then it could have a different take for each one. I mean, even if you look at season 1, Deborah Chow's scenes versus oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. The boy from Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi. Yeah, even those scenes looked completely different. But Deborah Chow's stuff definitely was darker than anything else from the previous season. So yeah, I think that makes sense. And obviously, we're getting deeper into the plot. We're not just working on building up the Mandalorian story, since Joey didn't believe that from season 1. So I think that's the direction that we go in as a darker.
I stick by what I said about season 1.
You
I
might
stick by what I said,
bro, but you can stick by it.
It's gonna get better. I mean, well, and this are we moving on to the next thing?
Whatever you want to do.
I mean, we're still on the trailer, yeah, and Mando.
Well, it kind of goes into what I mean, my whole deal was like I didn't believe Din Djarin yet. Like I wasn't sold on the character and his journey and how he got to where he got. I think I would as seasons have go on, but we might not get that. Maybe, who knows? There's our team.
I'm just thinking was not called a Din Djarin.
Is there's that report that Pedro Pascal had some issues on the set to where he felt like he wanted his face shown. Now, mind you, this is coming from one person that says she has 2 sources, but
Grace Randolph.
Yeah, and she hasn't revealed her sources. But
she's not going to reveal her sources.
Who is it?
Grace.
Is that behind the YouTuber Grace?
She's on Twitter. Grace Randolph is her name.
I follow a lady on YouTube called Grace, but she does like behind the trailer or something like that. I was just wondering if it was the same Grace.
Maybe.
Yes, the trailer, beyond the trailer. That is her. Yes,
it is her. Okay, cool.
She's credible. So it's not like she's not a fly by night person. I'm not saying it's right. We don't know. Time always tells. But like Ahmad was saying, the report is he wanted more face time. He wanted to be seen, which what actor doesn't, right? That makes sense. I get it.
You signed on for a character that wears a helmet.
But,
I was about to
yeah.
say, he picked the wrong
Yeah.
character to be shown his face.
So the report is he went to the story group, which in my mind says Dave Filoni,
Right.
Jon Favreau, maybe George Lucas, who knows? But he went to the story group and he said, "I want this," and they said, "No, absolutely. This is the report. We're
Stay
not.
strong.
This is in fact. We want." They said, "No, not happening." The report is then he went kind of behind their back to Kathleen Kennedy, and there was kind of
weak
words. Well, again, it's a report. Nobody knows, right? But they went back and forth, and the report is that they basically were just like, "It's not going to happen." They stuck to their guns, which, if this is true, kudos to them.
Yeah.
And he left in the middle of it. So this is how we're going to know if this is true. We start watching The Mandalorian. We get halfway through, which I think, Ahmad, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's 8 episodes this season, right?
I think so. I'm guessing.
So about 4
It is 8.
episodes in, when we get to that 5th episode, if we don't see, Din Djarin as much, then we know that this is accurate.
Incredible.
But
Now-
I disagree with that though, Joy, because
Okay, tell me what.
this is why I'm not. Everything you said was good. I'm saying the part about them switching directions in the middle of the season, because Favreau kind of said that prior to all of the
He did,
reports coming out.
100%.
So
Yeah, he
if
did.
that happens, that doesn't mean that that's the case. Here's why I don't like this story, because a couple of things, and you guys have mentioned a couple of them. Number one, Pedro Pascal knew what the character was before he did it. Number two, he wasn't even in the suit but one episode in the first season. And 3,
Well, hold on. Sorry. What do you mean he wasn't in the suit but 1 episode in the first season?
you said what now?
What do you mean he wasn't in the
Yeah, he was in the
suit?
suit the
There
whole
were
season.
2 other actors that were playing inside of Din Djarin, outside of Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal was just doing voice acting. He only
You're talking about stunt acting.
Actually,
but-
one of them was John Wayne's grandson.
yes,
Yeah, but-
If you
That's
knew that.
cool.
What I'm
But in the
saying
end, he was betraying the character
he
for
was
the whole season.
as a voice actor though. He did
Yeah.
all of the acting scenes he wasn't doing. Only
But
ones
it's,
he did.
but it's his character.
It is his character, but this is why I'm saying I don't think the story is true, because he's a voice actor for this particular project. So it doesn't make any. So what I'm saying is, you signed on knowing that this character doesn't take his helmet off. It's in the creed of this is the way that you don't take your helmet off once you become a Mandalorian. You're only doing your voice acting. So at this time, it's just like when they do the animated series for stuff, and they have other actors come and do the voice work. You can find somebody else to do Pedro Pascal's voice. It doesn't make any sense. Like that.
That's true.
It doesn't make any sense. The only time he took his helmet off was when he was with IG-11. So that's the only time, and that was because he was in front of a machine. So
Yeah.
outside of that,
I know in the hut he had his helmet off, but I don't remember. Did they show his face in the hut?
they didn't. They didn't show his
Okay,
face.
I
No.
didn't remember if they did
It
or
was
not.
dark.
I mean, this
Only
isn't
shown it once.
this isn't Luke Skywalker walking off the set of Return of the Jedi. Like
Right.
it doesn't kill him. But and I'm with you, Ace. Like if it's
He might
true,
throw his
I mean,
helmet over his shoulder though.
well, that's true. If it's episode 8, he does. If it's true, like I don't understand what he's thinking. Like you said, he knew what he was getting into going into it. Obviously, season 1 was incredibly popular. Like the whole creed. Now he's going to come back and say, "Hey, I don't want to wear the helmet anymore." It doesn't make sense. And if he did go to the group and ask, I'm glad that they all stuck to their guns. And if he went over their head and went to Kathleen, I mean, at least Kathleen made a good decision for once and said no. Like I like it.
We don't know that that's the truth.
Well, that's
there.
true. We don't. I mean, but I'm saying if Kathleen, I mean, at least Kathleen
She
didn't
just said that they went to Lucas, or not Lucas. Is it?
Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilm.
The
She's
storyboard.
she's Lucasfilm.
win. I mean, if she went to the top, it's Kathleen still.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still the
Yeah.
head. So, but I mean,
So-
either way, at least they stuck to their guns. And if he's that ridiculous that he walked off set, so be it. We're going to get a season 3 of Mandalorian. They'll recast him. Like Amon said, we'll find his voice.
Here's the only thing that I find interesting, and I find it interesting that we aren't getting. He's not coming out. Nobody's like refuting anything, because it would be really.
There's no need to though. For one, we see a lot of people when this stuff comes out. What's interesting? Season 2 has been filmed for quite a long time. They're getting ready to start shooting season 3. So that doesn't make that. What I'm saying is, to hear these reports now, it just seems very odd. And if I'm Pedro Pascal, I'm not why am I commenting just because the rest of the world wants to know what it is? You know what I'm saying? Watch the series. If I'm Pedro, like watch the series, bro. Like I'm getting paid.
If he walked off set halfway through the season, you think it would.
But the other side of that, though, Ahmad, is his career is his name, right? That as an actor, it's your part of your career, and so for people to think less of you, you can't do that. I mean, and that's a long. I get. Listen, I get. By the end of the series, you might be able to say this. He might be able to watch it, and then, but we're not. We're talking like what?
That's
December.
Not what I was about to say. What I'm saying is this. You're hearing a report from somebody who's quoting sources that's not even naming the sources.
Well, you're not going to name your sources.
They never name a source.
Can I finish my point? That's not even the part of the point that I'm focused on.
But it's a key point.
Are you going to let me finish my point, bro?
If you admit that it's a key point. You don't name sources.
Bring Yaddle back over here.
There's sources
come over
for a
here,
reason.
Yaddle.
There's
Yaddle,
sources
come back
for a
over.
reason.
Disney has not confirmed this story.
Disney's not going to confirm it. They still haven't even addressed.
You know what? You know what I think? I'm going to be real honest. Here's what I think. I think that if this were to be true, it confirms some other things that have been going behind the scenes of things being unhappy. And Ahmad's just so in love with Kathleen Kennedy that she doesn't do anything wrong, that he wants to refuse that this is even happening.
Oh, that's not the case at all. When I say that Disney hasn't confirmed it, so the thing is that like the stuff that we've heard about with the girl who's playing Cara Dune, right? So she had some scandal stuff come out. The reason why we know that stuff is accurate because those were actual tweets that came from her, and the person that actually helped her come out of that was Pedro Pascal. So for me, if he had some type of issue, like.
But he didn't have an issue with her. It was with the Disney.
But what he knew is
that doesn't fit your narrative. I get it. That's cool.
What he knows is that if she doesn't fix her tweets, that's going to affect her career. So my thing is, if that it was something that he felt like was going to affect his career, then he would respond to it.
You don't think walking off
to anything,
unless he's got an NDA, he can't talk.
You don't think that walking off and having these allegations that you walk off isn't going to ruin your reputation with future job leads?
Not if the person who's hiring you doesn't say that that's what happened. I mean, I can.
But how do you know?
I can start making up stuff about you, and you would have to be the one to come out to decide what you want to refute.
I think your argument
exactly. I would always come and rebut it if it wasn't true.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
We know that Finn had issues, and Finn didn't talk until after his NDA was up. How do we know he's not under NDA so he can't come out and say, "Yeah, I've got issues"? Like, yeah, I mean, I would ignore it too if I had issues, because if I say something, I'm going to violate my NDA and get sued by Disney.
But I'm saying it's amazing that only 3 people are saying this. That's what I'm saying. Like I said,
she comments on that because she says that everybody else is Disney shills.
I don't have anything wrong with people saying that when there's smoke that there's fire. I totally believe that. Have nothing wrong with that. But there's only 3 people saying that right now. Everybody else is reporting off the original report.
Because
obviously
saying the things that Cara Dune had said on Twitter is a lot more serious than what someone has said that is true or not true about Pedro Pascal. You cannot say that that's not true.
End result,
that's a hot topic item. No, it's not.
End result's the same. Okay. The end result is the same. Right. If from her tweets that could affect her career, and if he was known to walk off the set or something like that, that could ruin his career. That's the same. So those end results are the same. So what I'm saying is she came out to refute that because he talked to her about what was going on. So if he felt like that was important enough, why didn't he comment about this? Because it's not even true. You don't have to fight everything. You don't.
Or he can't comment on it because he's under an NDA, and if he says something against Disney, he's going to get sued.
Well, regardless, there's a rumor out there. Take it what you want.
Yeah. Kennedy. So anyway, what else is going on?
Yeah,
coming back on the other side.
Anything else?
So Jared, he wants to be in the middle. You need to go on Ace's side.
Hey, wait, just move Bonnie down there.
No, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna surround him. There we go.
That's right.
Right, he's boxed in.
Right. Put him right down there in Shane's spot.
Bulletproof Teflon.
So
I do want to say that
go ahead.
been a few news reportings about him storming off set.
Right. Responding to her report. Not they're just reporting what they heard from her. Just like we're doing right now.
But I mean, they won't name.
This is from.
So it doesn't count.
I will back up Ace on this. Like, she reported it, and since then there has been a lot of stories
It says
pointing to
Associated
Grace
Press.
Randolph's. Oh
So
no.
what?
It doesn't say Grace. It says the credit is from the Associated Press.
Which might have come from, I don't know. I mean,
Who knows, man?
I don't know if that. Yeah.
Which
either,
is
yeah.
another kind of like the New York Times, you know, in that.
Right, but they weren't the ones to break the story though.
No,
That's
and
what
this-
I'm saying.
And this is what it's going to come down to, honestly. You're going to believe it if you really think that there's issues going on in Lucasfilm. You're not going to believe it if you don't.
Right.
And it's fine. It's not right or wrong. I mean, who knows? It's none of our business, but it's fun to speculate.
The good news,
Fun to argue about.
the good news for the Mandalorian is
and-
he wears a helmet. We can replace
Look, and we have proof. She made The Last Jedi. That's all we need. Proof. Done. Right, Shane?
it. Do you really want to get me started on episode 8 again? It's 2020. It still sucks. Okay.
Okay, so let's run down some of the. We know we saw somebody. What was the wrestler's name? What's the chick's name?
Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. And what are we? Who are we thinking she is again? Let's just
Sabine.
go through some of
Sabine.
these things that we saw.
Dean Wren.
Sabine.
So are we getting to the part of the season going to focus on other characters? Because I did want to touch on that stuff.
Go for
I
it.
mean,
I mean, we could. What do you got?
Go for it.
Well, no, because you know what you guys were talking about with Pedro. I
Oh no,
I
we're
don't-
done with that.
even if
No.
that's the case, and they decided to, you know, the last 4 episodes or last 2 episodes, you know, go into something else, I think that'd be interesting to see other characters they're going to start introducing, because, you know, like the gap I feel like between the Last Jedi, or not the Last, the Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens, there's a lot to say there. I'm sorry, my dogs keep coming in here, and
That's a really good point, Bonnie. Like, so here's a good question. What Bonnie was saying.
Is that a baby
Again,
Chewbacca?
let's pretend what we heard is true, right? Let's pretend, Ahmad. We're just gonna pretend. I know you don't believe it, but let's pretend it is. Would you be okay if the Mandalorian all of a sudden became like a different Mandalorian? Like it was like
No.
Sabine. It kind of went more with Sabine, or it meant would that piss you off? Would you be? I mean,
It's
No, I don't see a reason to when you have opportunities to just create new shows. I think when Favreau talked about going in a Game of Thrones style of creating characters and building that entertains me more than just saying, "Oh, we're just going to." Because again, for me, it's not even about pretending. It's just the fact that if the story is about Din Djarin and you don't have to see his face, you can replace him, and then our story still goes on and still introducing those other characters. This is my thing. This is something that we've talked about before, but I still think it again, right? We know about all of the characters and things that we do know about. So if we know that stuff, what are the stuff that we don't know about? I, for some reason, think Luke Skywalker is going to be in this thing.
that'd be exciting.
I mean, obviously, I'd lose my mind if we see Luke. But here's my thing: like, you cannot focus on the last 4 episodes. Can't not have the Mandalorian in it, and I don't think they would have done it that way. Even if he walked off set, I mean, you have to wrap up the season setting up season 3. So if he vanishes for 4 episodes, like that doesn't set up season 3 well. Like the Mandalorian is Pedro's character and Baby Yoda. You know, their journey. That's what it's set up for after season 1, and that's what we're supposed to see going forward. So yes, I'm fine if we get episodes where we see other characters and they focus on it, but the drive still has to be the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. You know, is he going to find his home? You know, all those questions that we want answered. Like that's the drive of this show. So if he walked off, then yeah, you have one of the other characters and you film his scenes.
Yeah,
The one thing about it is it's not called what's his name?
The Din
Djarin
Djarin show.
Yeah, it's not called that. It's not called Baby Yoda show or the Child show. It's the Mandalorian, and they could theoretically go anywhere they wanted
need-
to with a Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, because
that's
there's
dumb.
more than just him, right?
That's-
as far
yeah.
as Mandalorian
I don't think
go.
it's dumb. I don't think it's dumb.
You've
I-
established the connection between those two characters. You're telling me that
But
all of a sudden the focus is going to be
But
Boba
you-
Fett, and everyone's going to be like, oh, who
I mean,
cared
if
about
you
it?
No, it won't be
do
Bo-
it Game of Thrones style. you're
Boba Fett's
talking
not a
lot of
Mandalorian.
characters.
Yeah, you
First of
say
all.
Game of Thrones style. We still focused on the same characters at the end of the
But it
eighth
was
season,
several
regardless of what you.
characters.
But
Shane-
still, it's those
but Sh-
same characters that drove the show. Yes, they killed some of them off, but
but
it was the
Shane-
same key characters.
Shane, but we're pretending that this report's true. Let's say that he's out. He's done.
Then you just have another man
So you
wear the
just
helmet.
end, you just end it and you move on. That's what you're saying in the
No,
series.
no, you don't end the series.
Exactly.
He wears a helmet. We don't see his face.
So who would
It
you-
does not
No,
matter.
if Din Djarin's out.
The same two guys that have been wearing his suit will continue to wear his suit.
Okay,
and then
so you
just-
would want
and then
a
figure out the
voice actor just to come in and take his
No.
voice, which they could.
Well,
Yo,
easily.
Din
You got it
Djarin's not out. Pedro Pascal would be out.
right.
The
You
actor.
finish. You
Okay,
finish
I
now.
agree.
If you're going to tell me,
and that's what I was trying to understand. You're okay with somebody just voice acting him and keep.
I'm okay if they
Okay,
if
that's- I
they're
didn't
going to
understand
replace if they're going to replace the Mandalorian, they need to do it within the story. Kill him off and have
Okay.
somebody else take Baby Yoda and pick up the mission.
That's good.
Like
Here's
he
my
can't just
other-
disappear.
Here's my other thing, right? I'm agreeing with you, Yaddle. The story is going. Here's the thing. Again, season 2 has been filmed for a while. If they weren't, they already greenlit 3 for a reason, because season 2 is done. The other thing is this: Jon Favreau is in charge of this,
Right.
and Jon we trust.
And we
I
trust.
am not worried about season
Trust in
2.
Filoni, but that's fine.
I am
Still
not worried
worried.
about season 2
They're one
at
person.
all. Not at all.
I just
I'm not worried about it because it doesn't bother me if Din Djarin wasn't there. Like
Can you
I don't
mute
watch it for
Yoda?
Din Djarin.
just mute Yoda.
You know
Just
what?
mute
The
him.
only thing that Favreau messed up on was the Lion King. That was it.
He doesn't watch The Mandalorian for The Mandalorian. We get it. We get it.
I will say this though: watching The Mandalorian has made me want to watch like
Padme,
Rebel.
we know.
No,
We know.
because I feel like it's putting a lot of pieces from Rebels into the show. And so for me, I haven't watched the cartoons and stuff. It's now gotten me to where I want to watch it so that way I can understand, I guess, some of the stuff that people see, the Easter eggs and whatnot, so I can get excited like other people do. So I don't know. I think it's a good way to, even if they recast the character or the actor, I still think whatever direction they're going and how they're doing it, they're going to set it up for an even bigger story. Maybe not in The Mandalorian, but other series.
Yeah.
So
They
either
had
way, I
already
think it's
started
okay.
really taking him out some, because there was a lot of stuff that we saw that he was not a part of. It was just some extra stuff on the side, and I think that they're just going further with that in this season, anyways.
How do you mean?
I think we're getting away from the Mandalorian a little bit.
I don't.
I'm right
hear-
with you, Yaddle. I'm saying
know.
if you set him up,
I am going to call it right now.
Okay,
This
call it.
season, we are not going to see as much of him. We are
Is that
gonna get
because he
full
walked off the set?
We're going to get a full episode of him not in it. Several of them.
Look, if he walked off the set, I agree, but that doesn't
Okay.
make it good for the series.
well, maybe not. Maybe they're just building onto
Maybe it's
another
just the
story.
writers.
They're trying to.
Well, they are. That's the whole deal. Is we're building these other stories that they are going to do off of the Mandalorian. That's been said over and over.
I just
We
want to
know
know
that.
who's taking this bet. That's what I want to know, because I'm in for it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if these rumors are true if we're going to get episodes without him, but I don't think that that's cohesive to the story. Like, if you're going to set up other series, like, you do it organically. And again, I trust Filoni and I trust Favreau, but I mean, ideally, if you're going to be setting up an Ahsoka series, you're going to do it organically within the framework of the series. So the Mandalorian's going to run into, my brain is messing up. He's going to run into her. She's going to introduce you to Ahsoka because he's looking for Jedi and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's organic in the story. If you want to give us a bit of Ahsoka's backstory because no one knows who she is, that's fine with me. But again, that's organic to the story. If you're telling me that the Mandalorian is no longer going to be about the Mandalorian, that's not organic.
No. That's not what's being said.
What he said.
That's not what he's saying. You need
Not at all.
to take those things out of your ears and listen to what Jared's saying, because you are completely off. He's saying They can easily call it Mandalorian, even if it was Yoda, Baby Yoda, discovering the world of Mandalorian. It still works.
Joey.
It's the Mandalorian.
Joda.
It doesn't have to be about Din Djarin.
Joan, you need to take your headphones and squeeze it a
Oh
little.
no, I don't.
Both of y'all need to take your headphones
I
and
don't.
shove
They're
them in
on.
your
Very good.
What
Let's hear it.
What Shane said was that because they already for the Mandalorian have set up Din Djarin as the protagonist for this series, they're not going to switch that in the middle of it just because there are other Mandalorians within the story.
And I've never disagreed with that. They can keep him.
If it was about all the Mandalorians, call it the Mandalorians, not the Mandalorian.
I'm just saying the show's called Mandalorian. It could go that way, and it would be fine because it's called Mandalorian.
This is the guy who didn't even like season
say
1.
Din Djarin. No, listen. I'm just telling you. If then why didn't they call it?
When me and Ace agree this
Din Djarin?
much, there is something wrong. Okay, me
You
and
wanna know
Ace
why?
are
Hold on, let me
agreeing
answer
way
this
too
question.
much.
Yaddle, let me answer this question. The reason why they didn't call the show Din Djarin is because that was a plot point within season 1 because they were building on his character, which you didn't think they did. So that's why they did that. That was the plot point.
I think they're going to expand more. I think we're going to, in the end, I think we're going to get a lot more about Mandalorian. We're going to get a lot more about Mandalore because that's what the focus is on, right? Din Djarin's going to be a part of it unless he left, and they want to keep voice actor to keep him, which is great.
I'm going to show this real quick. So this is what Filoni said about this. As we introduce other characters, there are opportunities to follow different storylines. The world's captivated Game of Thrones involved as characters follow different storylines. So we are definitely not going to see several episodes. We're going to be following other people and not following the Mandalorian.
And so what Shane's saying is that's wrong, and he's going to hate it.
That's not what I said. I said if you do
I
it
hate
organic.
it.
Mark it now, John Favreau.
Christ,
Yaddle,
like,
Yaddle.
I mean, are we just gonna use
exactly
stupidity? Like seriously, I said if it's organic to the story.
Right.
So if it's like Game of Thrones, it was organic to the story. They didn't just be like, "Hey, look, here's Jon Snow. Now we're gonna go across the world and never talk about Jon Snow again." If it's
They kinda did
organic,
a couple times. It kind of did. It kind of did a couple times.
Hey, Mike, you got a little brown on your nose there, sir, from kissing butt.
Oh, so
Look,
because my butt is brown.
whatever.
That's what he's trying to say.
Hey,
Really?
Get a close up.
Okay.
Lord
That's what
Kendar
it
doesn't
is.
know. Lord Kendar doesn't know how poop works.
I'm done.
Here's the
I
thing.
honestly would be okay with them building, like you guys are saying, organically off of the storyline.
Hey, quit doing that
They
over
are
a woman talking. That's rude.
gonna follow how the Game of Thrones writers did it, and I would even say, that's Kevin Feige, kind of that whole thing is building off of it to create these other interests, that will keep people watching, keep people interested. So I'm down for it.
If we're getting an Ahsoka series, in all seriousness, if we're getting an Ahsoka series, you're not going to follow Ahsoka for 2 or 3 episodes. Like, they're going to set up her character, they're going to set up her driving points, and then they're going to spin it off into her own series. So, like,
I don't disagree.
I get that they're going to follow other characters, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see the Mandalorian anymore. The show is still the Mandalorian. Like, it's still going to be his show.
We're both saying the same thing, just in different ways.
I'm not saying that Mandalorian's he's not going to be in it.
Right, but they're not going to replace him with Boba Fett. Like, that doesn't make sense.
But that's not what anybody said.
Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian.
Joey, we had this conversation, and you said they could replace him with, and I quote, Boba Fett.
I did say Boba Fett at one
did
time.
say
but he's-
Boba Fett.
but he's-
Is he a
okay,
Mandalorian?
but listen, I'm a man, and I can tell you when I said something wrong. That was wrong. Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian, okay? So if you were a man and could admit when you're wrong, like me, it would be great.
Where
But you
am I
can't.
wrong? Where am I wrong?
Everything you say. That's what I'm on to say. Everything. No point.
Pull the tape.
I mean, I hope it's more than just Ahsoka.
It's the replay.
series. I hope we're going to
Hey,
get
Jamie,
a
hit me
lot
with
of
that.
different things.
I mean, I do too. And I hope they set up some new series because I want more Star Wars. But again, like, what made season 1 so great was the
dare you,
story of
Mike.
this guy who found Baby Yoda, and he's going to take him home. Like, that's his new mission. Now that's not going to be the main point anymore. I
He
mean,
could
look,
get him
it's-
home and be done.
And that would be fine. Get him home and let him die, and then carry on with the story. But again, wrap up what you started before you say we don't need to focus on him.
And I'm not saying we don't need to focus on him. Never said this. I've never said that. I've just said if for some reason if the actor's gone, I'm just saying if he's gone, which I don't even know if he's gone, and you answered my question, you said you were okay with the voice actor doing it so they can keep going with him. Cool.
Yes, same character.
And then all I said is I personally would be okay if it was another Mandalorian like Sabine or Bo-Katan. But you wouldn't be, and that's fine. We disagree, but we're saying the same thing like Ahmad said, and Ahmad's right too.
Yeah.
What you said.
Joey, what's in your corner, bro?
There's no balloons today.
Finger guns.
No, Joey's corner. That was a great segue. Like, missing.
Yeah, Mason. There was a Daniel Rickman. He has a Patreon. He has a Twitter, but he's known for like doing movie and TV stuff. And anyways, he reported that he's a fairly reputable source, but he's saying that there's talks about doing a Mace Windu series, which, I mean, come on, this gets me excited. They're saying that it could be like a young Mace Windu, and that the report is that they're in talks with Samuel L. Jackson. So I would hope, 2 points. I would hope we see Mace Windu after he falls.
Yes.
Please. I would love to. 2, why wouldn't we want to see supposedly one of the greatest duelists with the light? I mean, that the form that nobody could do because he actually uses the dark side to actually do this form. So I think there's a lot to be seen there. Be cool. I personally think that with some of the damage, not for some people of Star Wars, it's good for them to keep revisiting some of the stuff we're familiar with because it does get us excited with Star Wars. So, and it's Mace Windu. I mean, come on, who don't want?
You think we get a young Qui-Gon in that series if we got a
you would have to, right?
You could introduce the young versions.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as we get Samuel Jackson,
it might fit really good with going from the High Republic. I don't know. I mean, because there'll be connections. What's your thought? What's your thought on Mace Windu? Who doesn't want Mace Windu?
I mean, I think it'd be great. I love the character. I want Samuel L. Jackson. Like, I definitely want his character.
I don't think Ahmad likes black people, so he probably wouldn't want.
Yeah, I mean, I've only called myself Ace Windu on here before. I make my whole character Ace Windu. So. And I'm rocking the bald heads.
What was perfect about that was it was purple behind you whenever you said that.
No, I honestly, I would love this. To be honest, though, I really would just like Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, the thing is that I would love to see him, especially if you're talking, he's already in good with Disney. And then on top of that, there's so much story to tell, especially because he wanted to play the character. Like, he pitched his own story back to George Lucas. Like, look, I'm still alive, bro. Like, but that in itself, well, you might be alive. I don't know. Whatever. But I just think that really, that we have that opportunity to really expand on the story, especially with Disney Plus. That's just more things for us to get excited about. So I'm all in for it. I don't know about a younger Mace Windu unless they're doing something to where he's like picked up where he left off, like went into hiding and started telling stories about how he got his powers or something like that. Like, it would be something dope like that.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that with Luke.
With the Luke series. I want with the Luke series. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if they did that with Mace, I'm with it.
Yeah. Give me old man Luke sitting in front of a fire telling stories. Then you flash to who's the guy? Sebastian Stan doing young Luke. Look, guys, I'm there. I'm in 100%.
What's that old movie where the young guy or the little boy is like getting a story read to him by his grandpa, and like that's how
Princess Bride.
Yeah, do like a Princess Bride style where it's Mace and his grandson. And he's like, I'm gonna tell you a story about me.
I have not seen that.
You've never seen Princess Bride?
I haven't either.
Well, I know you haven't.
Gosh,
Jared, you haven't either.
We're switching around.
I can't be on this podcast anymore.
You guys can stay on that side.
I'm so
we knew that.
Princess Bride.
That hurt my heart.
You've never seen Marauders. Marriage is what we
Who's
get us
together?
You're breaking my heart.
In the movie.
What about? Yeah.
Is it a cartoon?
No.
No, it's not.
I mean, surely you've seen
Okay.
the memes.
It's about.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my
Yes.
father. Prepare to die.
Or to die.
Okay,
This is
this is a
Rick
different
Moranis.
podcast. Let's go. Let's
Does
go.
it have lightsabers? I'm not interested.
No.
They have rapiers.
Inconceivable.
I'm not even going to
Anyway,
ask what you just said.
I didn't say rape her. I said rapier.
Yep, there
There's
it
our
is.
E rating.
We just got a strike.
It wasn't Yaddle. It wasn't Yaddle.
Okay, so Mace Windu, we would love a series about him.
Yes.
That's what we're that's what we're
Yeah.
coming down
Agreed.
to.
It's a minor miracle.
His lightsaber's
Status
my
on the
favorite.
Obi-Wan though. What's the status on the Obi-Wan series?
Who knows?
Still looking good. They're supposed to start filming.
That's what I've heard.
It's Ewan McGregor, of course, it's looking good.
Oh my god.
I second that.
Who's better looking, Padme or Kenobi?
That's tough. That's tough. Depends on what you're
All
into.
day long.
Look, I'm not here to judge.
We know that
Whatever.
you want to say Kenobi. That's
Whatever.
fine.
Whatever you're
It's
into.
Fine.
Okay, whatever you're
So
into.
here's what I really want to know from you, Yaddle. Would you be excited if we saw Yaddle
What?
If we saw yourself.
in Mandalorian?
No, Yaddle. Pray to God she is dead. Like we've only seen her in one scene. There's a reason that George Lucas put her in one. That was the most hideous thing that has ever graced. That is why I'm named Yaddle. Like I'm fitting the character tonight, guys. Like there's a reason you see her in one scene in the background, and then they're like, "What is that monstrosity? Don't ever show that again." Like no.
What if we get an old Jar Jar Binks?
Okay.
Whatever. Do we know what happened to Jar Jar at the end of episode
No
3?
one
Like,
cares.
like, why haven't we gotten a Jar Jar in
Spin-off.
the Empire book, right? Like running secret missions, passing messages. Like, give me a Jar Jar spy novel.
Empire killed him off immediately.
Okay, so here's
They're like, this
here's
guy's
the Yaddle
done.
for you. Look at that.
Yeah.
What is that? What's
Hey.
going on there?
Oh my
You-
god.
Put it
red
side
hair.
by
She
side.
is a
hair.
beautiful
Justin,
young
can you
lady.
Photoshop Shane's picture
not
into
a-
that?
It's
It's
not- someone already did.
I mean, if I had hair that long, flowing, I mean, I'd be pretty proud of myself. But no,
Look at that.
That's some good hair though. Look at
That's
that.
What a
Beautiful.
man. I mean,
there's definitely
Oh,
some similarities. She's not a ginger, obviously. So
Red hair.
that is some red hair.
That's
Is that
That
red?
is red hair.
it looks
Dude,
That's
blonde.
red hair.
Red hair.
No.
Is that not blonde?
No, you're in
No.
denial. That's red.
Are you
guys.
color deficient?
See if
Maybe.
we can-
Maybe.
Thank you. Do the face. Do the face, Seattle. Do the face.
Turn your head a little bit. Turn your head a little bit.
Oh wow! Look, guys.
So for people listening to the audio,
Oh.
Yaddle looks just like Yaddle. Figure that one.
So is
That was
gonna
weird
be
for a
your
second, I
first
didn't know who was who.
costume?
Oh,
got
yes,
confused.
please.
Yeah. So anyway, with that Obi-Wan series, man, we did find out that it is going to be a limited series, meaning that it's only going to be one season, and
Good.
and it's not even. I don't even think it's going to be as long as the Mandalorian. I think it's only like 6 episodes.
I've heard as
I'm
low as
okay with
4.
this.
Yeah, I've heard
completely
4
okay
as well.
I
with
would be
it.
fine with that, honestly. I'm with you,
They
Bonnie.
they
I'd be fine
could
with that.
easily
Oh,
if people really
There he
wanted
is.
it, they could easily go on another season.
They could.
Now, again, yeah, depending on how this goes, I mean, it may be a limited series, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get more of it.
Tickling him.
So
I will say this too, when it comes to series, I don't like to see them go for very long because you lose interest, or the storyline's just like repetitive,
it depends
stuff
on
like that.
It depends on the
So-
series.
I don't know. There's not really any series out there that Bob's Burger, but that's like,
There you go.
or Rick and Morty, like those are cartoons.
I am still watching Family Guy, and they're still
Yeah.
like their 15th
But,
or
like,
16th season.
I feel like those are different than
I mean, we got 9 seasons of the X-Files, and 8 of them were great. So, I don't do the last season
We
with
got 9
Doggett,
seasons
but I
of
mean,
The Office.
no.
come
No,
on.
I don't like The Office, I am a Parks and Rec person.
See you
Can
later.
you mute her? Park and Rex is great
Oh my
too,
God,
but
can you,
yeah.
you can't just throw her off.
Yes, you don't get to have that opinion here. No.
I
Like
don't.
you don't like
I don't-
Natalie
you just
Portman?
got-
Do you like anything?
Here's the problem.
Wrong
I
with
watched
you?
Parks
Heated.
and Rec
She likes
first,
Rogue.
and when there was no Ron Swanson in the office, couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, I guess so. There was a
Why?
Michael Scott.
No,
Sometimes
Yeah.
I wonder.
that's
I
not
brought up-
Ron Swanson. Okay.
Y'all brought up Jar Jar at a point, and there's actually somebody who was defending Jar Jar. Liam Neeson.
Oh gosh! I hope Liam Neeson plays Jar Jar. That's what I want.
Oh my goodness. Poor Jar.
Let's go into that.
Chris,
Well, just basically they were interviewing Liam Neeson, and he was just talking about the prequel and defending him. Just really, he was really defending the actor of Jar Jar too, basically saying that he was telling everybody like, "Yo, I'm working with the next Eddie Murphy and this, that, and the other." But it's just one of those things, like, I think George Lucas had. Oh God.
No. No.
I don't think anybody's ever said that.
So-
Oh
Sorry.
wow.
He's not a treasure.
I will say. Oh, sorry. Finish your point,
No,
Mom.
no, you
There
good.
you go.
I was just on. I know I've shared this on here before, but it's been a while, and we have so many more viewers now. So let me share with them. But Jar Jar, if you listen to, Maud's going to remind me his name. Who's the guy that read the script, Star Wars script?
Robert.
Yeah. That's it. So he got a copy of episode 1 before it came out. He was telling this on his podcast because he reads scripts. That's just what he does. And so he got to read episode 1 before it even came out. And he talks about when he read it, he had no problem with Jar Jar because it came across way different reading it than it did seeing it on screen because of how someone acts and does it. So, all that to got a crying kid. So all that to say is, I think the actor portrayed it in a way too that might have made it feel way different.
Well, he also had a director that directed him that way.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he was directed.
I'll do it again. Can you be more funny or something? I don't know.
I'm never getting invited to Skywalker Ranch.
Nope.
Never.
You've ruined it for
Never.
us.
You've ruined it for us. My one dream is to go to Skywalker Ranch and a mod's
You're
crapping all
not
over.
going now.
Don't worry, you're not invited anyway.
You can take anything away, but you can't take away Jar Jar. You got to keep him.
I'm
That's
telling
what
you.
that's what George probably
Look,
said.
he
I
fits
want
the
a Jar
story.
Jar Yaddle crossover.
Yaddle's dead, man.
I
Yaddle
want a love
died.
interest story with Jar Jar and Yaddle.
Oh god.
I
No.
feel
I hope
bad
Yoda-
for that one of the podcasts who brought up that, you remember when they were talking about the trailer, and they were actually like talking about Ahsoka was going to be all in the trailer, and it was going to be this huge lightsaber battle, and they shot this thing just for the trailer. I felt so bad for them dudes when that trailer dropped, because I had to go to their podcast. They cleaned it up real good. I give it to
Did
them. Yeah, they cleaned it good. But it was one of those things, like, I just felt bad for them, because here's the thing. They only said that because the last plug that they tried to bring out was not true. They were saying like they had a solid date, like this is the date the trailer was going to drop, and it didn't, and Reddit killed them. And they came on there and was like, listen, man, we know we messed up. We don't know why the trailer didn't come out, but we got something that's 120%. Like, this is like the scoop of the scoop of the scoop. This is it. The Ahsoka has been filmed 2 weeks ago, and it's just for the trailer.
Maybe it's for the trailer of her show.
You got it. You guys.
That would have been my response. Is no, guys. That's when the Ahsoka trailer comes out. She was filming for that. Don't worry about it.
Dude, what was that question? What was that question that you had up there, Jared?
So
Your favorite?
K625 says, "What's your favorite character from the Mando season?"
Oh, man.
And it can't be the Mando.
That's
No,
very
Quill,
Can't
man.
be the Mando.
Quill is mine.
I'm just kidding. That's not what it said.
The armor's way up there.
Yeah,
You
I
got
would
Baby
have to say the
Yoda's-
armor's mine.
Baby Yoda's a
I
softball.
I loved Quill.
Quill's good. Like, so many good
I
characters in
also
that.
like the
Yoda.
droid from the first episode, the first episode.
IG.
Yes.
IG.
Now, you
IG
know,
11, I
off
think.
from the Mandalorian was that
Huh?
first character, that the dude that he was taking.
Yeah.
I
Little
hate it.
fish guy.
I hate the character.
He played it good, man. He played it good though. What was the merc, the heavy merc Mandalorian? What the blue guy? with
The blue guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick. Yeah.
It was like Sylvester Stallone of the Mando, because you get down to the end, he's like,
I loved it.
this is the way. Adrian!
Just hosing him.
I also
Played his
I feel like I
part.
was watching
Cara Dune.
Kara's really good.
Cara Dune is
Yeah.
way up
Kara's
there.
really good.
Yeah.
She's kind of a well, I guess we can't cuss, but a bad.
Well, you can. What are they gonna do? Kick you off?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
I
Shane
didn't
doesn't
visit
play
that.
it.
Yeah,
Me and Shane have already done this.
I've been down that road.
Yaddle,
I was the
Yaddle is a
first.
sailor.
Yaddle is a
Bonnie,
sailor.
because you have dark hair, I could see you doing a really cool Cara Dune cosplay.
I
I
could
see
do
you
that
pull that
actually.
off really well.
Could do
that was
actually.
gonna be my first cosplay.
You
I'm
think
sure
you think
it
she,
Thanks,
was.
Justin.
We knew.
you think she could do Padme?
Don't.
No.
No.
Why would she stoop down to that level?
Let's be honest. She
can't.
has a Padme costume. She's in love with her. She just doesn't want to admit
Oh, yeah.
it. She's in love. You know she has a
I'm
Padme
going.
costume.
I'm going to be Slave Leia this year.
Yes.
Justin, please.
With the beard. With
Can
the
we
beard.
all dress as slave?
Please.
All the guys dress as Slave Leia. All five of us.
But I'm gonna
Just have
I'm
a
actually
Slave
just
Leia
gonna-
night.
I'm actually just gonna shave my chest hair into the
Double
bikini.
dare you.
All we can see is the
Chest hair
top
in the
half,
bikini.
anyways. Justin.
I'm gonna need like 5 weeks warning so I can go to the tanning booth though. So I'm gonna need to prep for that.
You can just get a spray tan.
You can do that. Here
Yeah.
we go. I'm in. All right, Slave Leia it is.
Okay.
Where do you buy
That's
metal
a-
bikinis, guys? For men.
Amazon.
She knows. All right. Hey, Padme, send me that link when we're off, okay?
Man.
Okay. So for all the y'all that are still left, we thank you guys for hanging out with us. And my camera just keeps going off on me.
Oh, there's a new one.
That's a different one.
That is a different one.
Oh, look at
Anyways.
you having
I like it.
issues now.
I know. I've been talking crap.
Oh,
Not as much
Oh,
as
my-
Joda.
Let's see. Nope. Okay, so we'll go with this. Anyways, so thank you guys for watching. Every Thursday, 7:30. Jump in with us. Thank you guys. Love you.